From the gym to the comp floor, you're better with Frog.
Wow. Nice job.
Welcome back, everybody, to our final day of 3 days here at the Northern California Classic at Discovery Park in Sacramento, California. I'm Bill Grunler. I have along with me John Young and the ever-popular Sevan Matosian with our, and I'll tell you what, our floor interviewer, Mr. Taylor Self, has been doing a fantastic job. We've had 2 days of some incredible activity, some incredible competition, and some amazing races. Some crazy variables that have been swapped up, some things that have been unknown and unknowable, where these athletes have all been going head-to-head as they're trying to get their coveted 2 spots to get themselves to the CrossFit Games. And this is the last opportunity in person that they'll be able to do that before they have that last chance online qualifier as we get into the game season. Our last event today is called the Double Twos. And it's going to be over on the Frog Grips Battleground. And basically it's going to be a row and a run. 2 scored events. You're scored on your 2K row. Then you're scored on your 2K row plus your 2-mile run. And I guess if we needed to check off the endurance box, this is the one that's supposed to be doing it, right, John?
Yeah, and it's double scored, if you will. I know one's more power output, but when you have a 20-minute event, I think most of these athletes are going to have a hard row pace, but it's not going to be that all-out 2K pace.
Right.
So it turns into just a 20 to 25-minute total endurance race that's going to get scored twice, if you will.
Okay, so if you know you're not the greatest runner, but you're a power output athlete, do you try to put all your money into the row? I mean, are you trying to go max out on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a handful of athletes, and the women and the men, who know that they are poor runners. They're bigger athletes. They're very powerful. And for those people, you make your money where you can, and that is the row. So I think we're going to see maybe names we have not heard before win the row and then proceed to get passed up by everybody in the run because they know in total they're not going to be great in the whole event. Why not send it on that 2K row? I mean, if I was in this competition, I would send it on that 2K row because I know I'm trash at running, right?
You got to go for your home run hits when you have your opportunities, right? And that's what we're trying to do, especially on the last day here. We have a very interesting leaderboard going into this third day. We have Miss Alex Kazan up at the top of the leaderboard with 20.5 points overall. 5.5 point lead over Carolyn Prevost with 26 points, and then Hattie Canyo at 32.5. Is it going to stay that way? I mean, we also have Kristen Holta. If we're talking about an endurance type race, Kristen Holta has another 5 points behind it. It's basically a 5.5 between first and second, 5.5 between second and third, and a 5 points between third and fourth. Are we going to see a shuffle going into that final event?
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. I mean, I think Alex Kazan is probably going to hold steady at having that 6-ish point lead going into the last event. But Carolyn Prevost will be able to hold her own on the rower. I don't think Hattie or Kristen's going to make up points on the rower, like a ton of points. Maybe beat her by a couple, or Carolyn beats them by a couple, but not a lot of ground made. That run is where Hattie Canyo and Kristen Holte are both going to make jumps on Carolyn Prevost. And I think those 3 girls are all going to be tight enough that whoever wins that last event, that's who's going to have their ticket to the games between the 3 of those girls.
An event like this does not run itself. There are some great people who pay the bills so that the CrossFit community and CrossFitters can gather somewhere like Sacramento, California. Mayhem, home of Rich Froning, the greatest to ever do it. 7-day free trial over at Mayhem Athlete. RX Mark here, been around since day 1 of the CrossFit era. Supporting CrossFitters for a long time. Make sure you get over there and buy all the ropes that all the best are using. Frog Grips, big sponsor. Frog Grips Battleground is where the start and finish are taking place. Use NorCal 20 for 20% off at froggrips.com. And don't forget FitAid, one of the oldest companies in the space supporting CrossFitters and all of us making events like this happen. Then, of course, we couldn't do any of this without the OG of OGs, Concept 2, the best rower in the space. Concept 2, great company.
As we have all of our athletes out there on the row, let's go ahead and go down the the lane assignments, starting from the bottom and working our way up. In lane number 3, Abigail Bernard. In lane 4, Solvin Hagalian. Lane 5, we have Rachel Fricker. In lane 6, Alexis Kendricks. Tori Garcia is in 7. Mary Helen Saunders is in 8. Alina Ward is in 9. Gabby Heckman is in 10. Caitlin Saunders is in 11. Kyla Romero is in 12. Lindsay Lane is in lane 13. Emily White is in 14. Laura Driscoll is in 15. Kendall Gilmore is in 16. Caitlin Bernadine is in 17. Chelsea Nicholas is in 18. Ali Zerke is in 19. Aubriana Montplaisir is in 20. Montana Powell is in 21. And Emily Snyder is in 22. Now, we say there's 2 events, but they're kind of the same thing. Would you put someone like Caitlin Bernardin, who right there in lane number 17, you see her in the black top and the black leggings. Would you look at her to do well in both, or are you planning on just the second piece because both pieces put together?
No, absolutely. I think she does great in both of them. I to win both of them, maybe not, because again, you will have girls sending it on the road, so that's like kind of up in the air for you. But Caitlin Bernardin has shown herself to be so good at aerobic capacity that it would not surprise me at all if she's like 3rd on the row and then 2nd in the whole event or 1st in the whole event.
Do you think that will be an overall best time coming from the first heat, even pushing some of the ladies
Caitlin
in
Bernardin,
the top heat?
For the whole thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
For the row, it's impossible to say because you don't know if anybody's gaming it.
Right.
The rower, the Concept 2 rower, if anyone ever asks you, hey, what's the one machine I should buy? And if your goal is to get the fittest, the answer is always the rower. Since day one, Miko Salo, and now, Tia Toomey, the greatest to ever do it, all condone the rower. When they want to get super fit, you start hearing, I locked myself in the closet and started really rowing a lot. It is the best machine. It's hard, but if you're going to buy a machine, Concept 2 is the machine to buy.
And that was actually the only machine. In the old days of CrossFit, it was all about, we don't have machines, we build the machine. But that was the one machine that we allowed in.
Yeah. And do you guys have any disagreement with that?
No.
No, Concept 2 is where you go if you want to get a machine.
Yeah, and if you want to get fit. The rower is the one. Stop dilly-dallying. Don't fool around on the bike like old man Sevan does. Get on a rower and start rowing. We are in Sacramento, California. The temperature has not risen to the over 100 plus like it has in the previous 2 days. We're at the NorCal Classic. 2 men, 2 women will be going to Albany, New York to compete to be crowned the fittest human being on the planet.
What kind of times are we looking for these ladies coming off the row?
Yeah, I would say anywhere between 7:15 and the 8-minute mark.
Okay.
7:15, I think maybe wins the row, and then 8 minutes is where we're looking. Like, they're all going to be finishing within that 45-second range. If you're 8+ minutes, you're not going to be great regardless.
Who do you think is gonna take the row in this heat?
I mean, Caitlin Bernardin is the most aerobic one. It's just impossible to predict the row because people can game the row. Emily White is a very powerful rower. I ran that whole thing and told you that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I just showed John. I just got a text saying that the course was only 1.83 miles, and John's like, "Hey, asshole, I already told you that."
Well,
all right,
if we're talking
not a
about
good listener sometimes.
If we're talking about Emily White, she's right there in lane 14. Kind of a shorter stroke rate, faster stroke rate than the other ladies.
But they look like long, strong, powerful.
I mean, they're powerful pulls, but look at the tempo that she's doing versus the other ladies that are out there.
Hey, at the top of the game, are there athletes? Are there the ones who can just go win the row and the run? Are there athletes out there like that? Are there 10 CrossFitters who are just like, hey, I'm the elite of the elite? Like if Tia Toomey were here, does she? And if so, does that mean Gazan needs to make a statement here also? If she's going to be the next heir?
If Tia Toomey was here, I don't think Tia Toomey's beating Alex Gazan in the row. Like when it's on workouts like this that are double scored, it's extremely hard to win both of them.
Couple hands up in the air. Looks like Caitlin Bernardin up in lane 17 and lane 18, Chelsea Nichols. And if you look down at the bottom of the screen, it looks like lane number 5, that's going to be Rachel Fricker, Alexis Kendrick, and Tori Garcia, I believe, in lane number 7.
And what this means is they have 500 meters left. So they're checking off every 100 meters. We're at right around 5:45 right now with about 300 meters left, which is on track for like 7:30.
Caitlin Bernadine, I see the judge drop the hand, and she's really hammering through that row. See if she's going to come off the rower first. A lot more. This is one of the things with Caitlin. Doesn't have necessarily the finesse of a lot of movements. Kind of Sam Briggs-esque.
Very Sam Briggs-esque.
Kind of not the prettiest movements, but a lot of power and just grits through it. I want to see if she's going to be the first athlete to come off the rower.
3 scored events on the final day here. Could be a lot of movement on the leaderboard.
Lane 14, Emily White is the first one off of the rower.
Okay, good call, good call.
We're looking to see if we can get a time check on that. Do we have one?
No.
Barkley?
So now Emily's in the running for
No, we
that
don't
100
have it.
points,
Okay. All right.
depending on what happens in that next heat.
Yeah, no, that was extremely fast row. We will get that. We will get that to you guys as soon as we have it.
What do you think about her pace, just coming off the rower and winning the row? You like her run pace?
I think she rode as hard as she
rode
could.
hard. If you rode that hard, your legs are blown out.
And someone's behind her.
Yeah, the woman in third right now, that is who I think is going to hawk these girls down. Her cadence looks better than everybody. I think this is Caitlin Bernadine right here.
the
And
long
her,
leggings.
I mean, she looks like she's humming. So Caitlin Bernadine's the 4th off the rower, but she's going to hawk all these girls down on the run.
And when you say hawk, you mean like you're referencing like the bird, like a bird, like hawking them down like the way a bird would. I'm trying to understand your metaphor here.
I thought that was kind of like a hawk and a loogie.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe that was
It's
wrong.
closer to Sevan's than Bill's.
Okay. Well, that's my first win of the week. Wow, my first win. I'll take it.
Like, you know how a hawk swoops down to get their prey?
Yeah.
That's what Caitlin Bernadine is doing on these girls right now.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful arena for these athletes to be able to out here and run at Discovery Park and running through the trees. You ran the run here. You took
I
that
did.
jog. How is the course? What does it feel like? Is it all asphalt? Is there dirt?
So you see they're running down the gate line right here, and then once they end at the gate up at the top, the gate ends, and then they go through a little bit of a forested area, and then it's a long dirt pavement road that, might be a mile long, like a straightaway long road once they get through the forest here.
Do you think it affects some of the athletes if they are going from asphalt to soft grass to dirt?
Not
Or do
the
you
good,
think they
not the
just
good
shut it off
runners.
and they're just going?
Yeah, I think they just shut it off and they're going. I actually like whenever it's multi-terrain. I don't think it affects many people very much, but it feels more like we're out here. You know what I mean? Like
I get you're in the element.
you're in the elements. You're taking it on.
Now this is supposed to be a 2-mile run. You guys clocked it. You said you had 1.85.
1.85.
You ran it this morning, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
Barkley went with you.
You don't even smell. You don't even look sweaty.
Thank you. Me and Bryson ran it together. I don't want to take credit by myself. And Bryson was faster. For anybody that wants
were you
to know.
officially racing?
I wasn't racing. He took off a little bit from me, but we both ran it.
The course is marked? With
So that dirt road is unmistakable. It's like one road. Once they get past, you see, we're still on the gate line. Once they get past this, it's just a long dirt road, right next to a cell tower.
Very old school look right there with all those canopies up in the air. Caitlin
Bernadine
making her way around. That's actually right behind where we are. You can see us.
So they're tight. 1, 2, 3. Was that Emily White in the back?
No, Emily
she was up in the
White's
front.
way behind right now. Emily White tried to win the row, and that's what Emily White was doing.
And again, the difference in the stride of those ladies that we just saw go by versus the ones that were coming off the run, able to shake that out. There's Ali Zerke right there coming through.
Ali Zerke's got a decent cadence going on.
Now, one of the things that
There's
we are
Emily
doing
White.
with these athletes is they all have that bib number. That's going to be their chip timer when they come across. So they can get both the row, they can write that down, then they'll have the overall time when they go for the row run.
Head on over to Mayhem Athlete for 7-day free trial. Mayhem Athlete. This event brought to you by RX Smart Gear, Frog Grips, Fit Aid, and then the title sponsor for this event, the Concept 2 Rower. These are the guys that pay the bills. Please support those companies. The more we support those companies, the more events we can have And then maybe you can get some professional commentators instead of CrossFitters doing stuff for CrossFitters. A broadcast by CrossFitters for CrossFitters.
It looks like Aubriana Montplaisir coming through right here. Let's go to the drone shot. Let's go. Can we see?
where our
Are
leaders
we able
are,
to
yeah.
see?
Wow.
Oh, that's a cool shot.
Yeah,
that
and
is
look,
a
and
cool
look, she's
shot.
going into this forest right now.
Look at that lush green
Yeah.
California.
There's snakes out
view.
there. There's snakes out there.
What
Bobcats,
are
mountain
you-
lions. There are. I'm just telling you. I know
talking about?
California.
Have you seen the
Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my!
that car ghost thing where it scares people? This car goes in a forest. You're supposed to follow it, and then like a demon jumps out. Is what this looks like. It looks just like it.
No, I do not know
I
what
don't
you're
know.
talking
It's a
I don't know
viral YouTube
I don't
thing
know what
like
you're
10
talking
years
about.
ago. I guarantee you, people.
When
Here's
you
the
were
dirt.
when you were 12 years old, you shouldn't have even been on the internet.
Okay.
That's why John is the way John is. His brain got
The
skewed.
internet messed me up.
So, is there a way for the athletes? Is there any way they can get lost out there and making their way to that
no,
trail?
it's unmistakable.
Sure.
Unmistakable. Yeah.
I mean, that is talk about variables outside. That's one of the things that always happens, whether it's
Yeah.
triathlons or runs or trail runs. If someone gets lost,
I mean,
makes a wrong turn.
Hawaiian Trail Run, people have gotten lost.
me and
Like lost.
once Bryson took off, me and him both were kind of running by ourselves, and we came out in the right spot. And
Who
like
else was
it
running with
felt
you
like there
guys?
was one road. It was just me and him.
It looks also like they're running in the shadows. That there's a lot. It's not going to be pure
Hot.
heat
No,
down
it's
there
not
while
at
they're
all.
running.
You know, and that's one of the things that the NCC did here was they had a trail run last year. It was hot. They tried to go early, but it was scorching hot. So they went earlier. They also tried to get them in the trees. I know that was something that they were trying to do with the different arena that they had, the different park that they had. But I can't see anything. I don't
No,
know.
they're underneath
If they
the-
were
they're
trying to
underneath
get
the
away
trees
from
right
us, they
now.
would have gotten away already. Like, we lost them.
Oh, do we have a finisher?
No, that's a different heat.
So they blended the heats on this. I don't know if it's a 10-minute time-ish group that they send the athletes out, then at 10 minutes they bring the next group out. But you can see just how hard these athletes are pushing, not just on this event, but again, this is the second of 3 days.
The third of 3 days.
We need to get a
The
start
third of 3 days.
We need to get a start of the second heat because we don't know when the second heat's starting. That way we could possibly get time checks.
I mean, they're dead. They're down for the count.
Yeah, these are the RX women, correct?
I noticed that yesterday on
have
the
to,
leaderboard
yeah.
there were 39 women. Did we start with 50 and 11 are gone?
I think we started with.
I thought we started with like 45.
something like
Okay.
that, yeah.
No big names have pulled out.
Not on the women's side. I don't think so.
Unable to have any sort of a view of our athletes yet. We don't have any of our elite ladies coming across the finish line as of yet, and I know that they're still kind of stuck underneath the trees for our drone shot, but we're going to be able to go back and forth as we are able to see some of the different athletes.
And the leaderboard is Alex Gazan in first and Hattie Canyo. No, so is it who's in second? Prevo or Canyo? Canyo and then Prevo.
And then Prevo. No, Prevo's in second.
Prevo's in second. Okay,
Hattie's
so
in third.
Prevo and Hattie, big day for them. Very important.
There's our field right there. We have, looks like some athletes, our judges are all there waiting for the next heat to begin. Again, we got to make sure that we get our athletes out and running. We want to make sure that there isn't going to be any sort of a bottlenecking anywhere. Let them get out in front a good distance before we get into it.
The next heat's going to start here any minute now, and we're going to get the start of their row, and then we'll get the finishing once they're rowing and see if we can't get time checks for that row.
Yeah, they should be technically we're supposed to be at 8:52 that they're going to be running, and we're right on that time. So what's going to happen when they start? They're going to run them out from the start line, and they run to their rower.
I
That's
think
how
they
that's
run
going
to
to
their
go.
judge, and they give their judge their sheet, and then they go to the rower.
Well, whichever. It's all right there at the rower. But they're all going to start at a red line at their check-in tent first.
Since Prevo knows all she has to do is stay ahead of Hattie Canyo to go to the CrossFit Games, and they're going to be rowing relatively close to each other, can she just is that her strategy? Just stay ahead of Hattie?
Well, she knows she can't keep up with Hattie on the run. It doesn't matter. If you know you can keep up with this, all you got to do is stay ahead of this person. This person's a better runner. There's nothing you can do.
Right here, all of our athletes are real fast, John. On the left-hand side, that's the red start line. So once they say 3, 2, 1, go, they'll go from that line and run to their judge and hop on their rower.
And they're about to take and they're off.
Okay.
You see, they give their judge their sheet, and then they go to their rower.
Okay, so let me ask you about that. Do you think that skews, like if you're in lane number 1,
Absolutely, dude.
does that
I don't know
ruin
how
you?
it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't know how it doesn't. Because if you're all the way over here in this lane, your chip still went off at the red line.
Don't they go that way when they're doing the run, so it helps you on the second element of the event?
I mean, and that's how they negate it. But I think somehow somebody always has an advantage in that start. I mean, it's only like seconds, but somehow somebody does.
You know what? I mean, that's the thing. You want to make sure that all your races are equal all the way across the board. Not like, hey, you'll get kind of screwed on this one, but we'll pay you for it in the next one, especially if this is the one that you need. So right here is our top heat of elite females. Heat number 2, doing double twos over at the Frog Grips Battleground. We'll go through our lane assignments for these ladies, starting on the very left-hand side of your screen here. In lane number 3, Hinatia Montebello. In lane number 4, we have Gucci Valdemar's daughter. Emily Rolfe is in lane number 5. Ariel Sanders is in lane 6. Miley Wade is in 7. Sydney Wells is in lane number 8. Elizabeth Wishart is in lane number 9. Andrea Solberg, who had a great day yesterday, is in lane number 10. Trista Smith is in lane 11. Hattie Canio is in lane 12. Your overall leader coming into today, Alex Gazan, is in lane 13. Carolyn Prevost is in lane 14. Kristen Holte is in lane 15. Nina Varagovic is in lane 16. Rebecca Fusile is in lane 17. Oda Lundqvist is in lane 18. Maddie Fouts is in 19. Allison Scudds is in 20. Rachel Newell is in 21.
Nice
Carissa
job.
Stepp, you like that? I've been practicing. I practiced all night. Carissa Stepp is in lane 22, and Emily Ruthwell is over in lane 23. Talking about Emily Ruthwell, I mean, very athletic athlete. She had that very end lane. I mean, how much time is she giving up on that? It's got to be, what, 5 seconds, 8 seconds?
Yeah, but like you said, she'll be the first one to the run. So, I mean, and that's – I don't know.
Is she going to win the row? Like, is that really hurting her? Would you
Ruthwell?
rather have the, hey, let me get to the run sooner? Is that going to be play out better for her?
I think if the rowing is my game and I'm going to game it, I want the nearest rower to me.
If you're going to game the row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of athletes here. Sevan, how many athletes are there? Well, while Bill was reading off the roster, I was able to pee and come back. That's how many athletes are.
John, who are we looking for in this particular event as far as who's pushing the row and who's pushing the overall?
Real quick, Bill, Caitlin Bernardin is coming in for the finish line.
Wow.
She's finishing first in that
fast.
heat. We will get a time check as soon as possible.
That was your prediction, right?
Yeah.
To win that heat, yeah.
Well done, John. John Young, senior analyst in the CrossFit space. If you're a CrossFitter, you know who John Young is. JY Barbell. Learn how to get strong. Visit JY Barbell. Not only senior analyst in the CrossFit space, but one of the premier strength coaches.
Kendall Gilmore
Hey guys,
is coming in.
we got some row paces right now too. Hattie Canio's holding a 159. Kazan is holding a 152. Prevost is holding a 156, and Holta is holding a 155. So Kazan's going out hard in the row, but the Holta's the big one.
Ali Zerke just came in.
Holta holding a faster pace than Prevost and Hattie. I think that's the big one that we're seeing. But again, we're right in the beginning. We're halfway through.
Do you think she's trying to really push? I mean, she's going to be better on the run, right? I mean, the run is going to be her thing. So is she trying to hold tight?
Yeah, she's
Caitlin
Bernardin right now. She's Caitlin Bernardin right now.
All right.
Emily Rolfe is holding a 152. Sydney Wells is holding a 152. 800 meters to go for those girls. They're all kind of going for it on the row. 152 is a pretty darn fast pace.
Your commentators, Bill Grundler, former CrossFit Games athlete, owner of CrossFit Inferno in San Luis Obispo. John Young, current grid athlete and owner of JY Barbell. And then me, just a fat kid who never worked out until I found CrossFit at the age of 34. Now I could beat most of you in a workout who are listening to this stream.
Only on a bike.
Be nice, Bill. Be nice.
You probably have definitely put more calories on a bike than anybody that I know.
Every day, baby. Every day. Concept 2. This event brought to you by the Concept 2 rower. Us CrossFitters have been using the Concept 2 to be the fittest human beings on the planet for 20 years now.
A little bit of glare on our finishers coming in.
Lane 18 is pulling 149 right now.
Lane 18, that's going to be Oda Lungvim.
Oda.
Wow, some heavy sprints. There's Sydney Wells that just came in, I believe.
Sydney's in this heat.
What you are viewing on the screen right now
is
the finish
really hard
line.
to tell on that one, on that glare.
The finish line is Heat 1 comes in, and then on the right side on the rowers, you're viewing Heat 2.
We got hands in the air right now for Heat 2 in the row. Kazan is staying in at 152. Canyo staying at 159. Prevo staying at a 156 pace. It's anybody's game right now. Oda Lundvik was holding a 149 with 600 meters left. She might be playing the row game.
Wow.
That's like the name that you don't know that could be gaming it.
A double scored event, 100 points for whoever comes off the rower first, and 100 points for whoever crosses the finish line, the running finish line first.
Looking across the floor, a bunch of hands. We're going to have a lot of ladies. I actually really like the fact that we have a lot of ladies coming off the row to really push the run. You want to have those rabbits out there to make you chase.
And we're going to have our first athlete anytime come off of the row here.
The NorCal Classic has been growing ever since its inception in 2019. Always been based here in Sacramento, California. About 90 miles east of San Francisco. Temperatures today will reach 100 degrees. It is still early in the morning. We're probably only at about 75 or 80, 9 a.m. here.
This is actually a great time for this race.
Perfect.
I mean, it's really comfortable out here for these
somebody's
athletes.
going to come off in 10 seconds. And my money's on Oda Lundvik right now.
And Oda's over in lane 18, which is going to be way over on the right-hand side of your screen. Can't quite see the lane numbers, but we'll give you kind of an estimate as they're hopping off.
And there she is.
Oda is off her rower and gets herself into the run. Decent little clip, still sitting by herself. Don't see anyone else with her.
Well, if they could have gotten off, we don't know. Oda was a 7:28. I think a lot of girls, those 150 girls are going to come in right after her.
Can't quite tell who that is, but that looks like what? About a good 5-second lead? 8-second lead?
Just depends who it is right now. It might be,
It's really hard to tell.
yeah, Sydney Wells maybe?
For at least a dozen of these athletes, this is a very serious event. How serious? People will cry today when they realize whether they made it to the CrossFit Games and fulfilled their lifetime dream or did not make it to the CrossFit Games. This is a very serious event. At this level of competition, these competitors are fully dedicated 24 hours a day, sleeping, eating, and moving to their capacity, to their human potential. And 2 ladies, 2 men will be going to Albany for the 2025 CrossFit Games to be crowned the fittest human being on the planet. And it's not in contention. No one can contest. When you're crowned the fittest in Albany, everyone on planet Earth, no Olympian, no professional athlete anywhere else would be like, hey, I'm fitter than that person. We all know, and this is serious business, man.
Serious business. I think what's crazy this year is the fact that we have a lot of athletes that have been bouncing around trying to get that ticket. They're going week to week to week, even just trying to get that. That's how important it is to them. I think it's going to be interesting. The athletes that make it to the games, we want to see them do their great thing and what kind of training they're going to do. But to talk to some of the athletes that had to do 3-4 attempts, and what that felt like to go week to week to week, how it messed up their training, how it was mentally. It's very different than it's been in other years.
Yeah, I mean, just think a handful of these athletes, like you're saying, just last week were in the battle of their life, pushing themselves to near feigning, to complete exhaustion. Then they get 5 days off, and then they fly back over here and try to fulfill that dream.
And come out to a bunch of variables, a bunch of heat, some hot mats, some things that have to get changed up on them on the fly.
A lot of unknown events.
Guys, we got some road times coming in right now. Oda Lundvik was a 7:14. And then after that was Emily Rolfe at 7:21. Sydney Wells was 7:27.
So now I'm having a hard time believing that the actual race is 1.83 miles if we're getting 7:14 times.
No, that was
That's
the row.
the row.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. Thank you. My bad.
Okay, so let's
You
talk
would
about,
be correct. I would.
yeah, right. Let's talk about you have someone like Emily Rolfe that's in here. You have someone like Kristen Holter that's in here. Where are those two athletes going to go? Are they going to push the pace, or do you see any of those athletes? I mean, we have Kristen who's like, hey, I'm retired. Well, maybe I might just make myself back in there. You have Emily Rolfe who has verbally said out here that she was injured. So she's not going to be able to make a shot at the game. So how hard do they push?
Oh, that's Chris. I think Kristen Holta just passed her screen, Bill, and I think she's in first place right now.
These women, when they get off the rower is a devastating machine, the Concept 2 rower. They get off the row, and they're actually recovering. I don't know how long it takes to recover, 100, 200, 300 yards, but they're actually recovering on the run for where most normal human beings running is exercising.
There's Emily Rolfe
in the
Patty
purple.
Canio, it looked like, next to her.
Sydney Wells just going by your screen on the left-hand
There's
side.
Alex Gazan.
Okay, now where's Alex Kazan sit here? How hard does she have to push?
I think she just
sit in the group.
Solid 10th place.
Okay.
Yeah, she has a lead. Kristen Holta looked like she had a thick lead on everybody on this run.
Have you seen? I haven't seen Prevo go by yet.
There she is. Carolyn Prevost right here in the hat. Carolyn Prevost right there in the hat.
What's your estimation of how many people are ahead of her?
12 or so, and that's
yeah.
in this heat.
That's
That's
in
not
this
even
heat.
like you have to count for the next heat too.
Like the Bernadette.
Previous
Bernadette.
heat? Yeah, wow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and Hattie did not do great on the row, but Hattie's a way better runner. Kristen did good on the row, and she's about to get first place here.
So it's not. Is it your time on the run that's your score, or it's the row and the total time?
Yeah, it's the row only, and then start to the very end. So both pieces together.
Okay.
Guys, I think Oda Lundvikam's kind of making a move on Kristen here. It looked like she was
drafting right off
it looks
her,
like she was like sneaking up on her. I'm interested to see how that's going to pan out because Oda won the row, and she might go 2 for 2 like Sevan's saying.
Okay, so thinking about where Oda is in the overall leaderboard is, I mean, obviously you got to push to where you can get going. She currently has 65 points. She's sitting behind that cut line by about 40. So probably pretty tough. But if you get both good scores out of that, what sort of jump can you make? Is it valid, or are you gonna have a shot?
I don't think you have a shot, dude. Kristen Holta, Hattie
Top
Conyo,
5
Carolyn.
maybe?
Yes, I think you could jump to the top 5. You're Spencer Panchik.
Okay.
You're Spencer Panchik. Like you're out of the running, but you have made the biggest jump on last day.
Okay.
Did Andrea Solberg, yes, that's what I said. Did she win both events yesterday?
She did.
She did.
And how is she doing here? Does she have any chance of being top 5 here?
She's not in this workout, no.
Okay. Big Norwegian contingent here. I'm surprised. I don't know if I should be, but I'm surprised to see so many people from Norway here all the way out in Sacramento, California.
I think they have six or seven,
Yeah,
5 or 7
I think Blair was
athletes
saying
from
6, yeah.
Krieger Training.
You know, Oda did win the online qualifier. You have someone like Kristen Holte come out here as well. Why not bring the crew? Have a vacation.
You're a long way from home, ladies.
I think our calling card should be to have trees in every podcast. Or in every broadcast.
Yeah.
Every broadcast.
Forest through the trees.
Every broadcast we
And you
should have
gotta say
trees at
forest
some
through the
point.
trees?
I didn't know you were so granola, John. I didn't know.
He is a hippie. Patchouli. He just found out about patchouli last
Yeah.
night.
Oil, I didn't
Good
know
point.
about that.
I'll bring some when I see you at the games. I'll bring some patchouli.
Heat
for
1
you.
of the men have started. We're going to try to get the start
Wow.
of Heat 2 for the men.
So the ass heat has started, but we will not let the elite start without getting you an update.
We're going to stick with the women here until and we're going to stick with the women to finish this heat. We will try to get.
You literally have a whole stack of heat.
They're
sheets
not. I don't
right
have the
in front.
men's.
What?
If you'd
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to get fit, there's a 7-day free
I hooked
trial
you
right
up,
now
John.
at Mayhem Athlete. Mayhem Athlete, some of the greatest athletes in the world, some of the fittest humans in the world have come out of CrossFit Mayhem. Some of the fittest CrossFitters have come out of Cookeville, Tennessee, home of Rich Froning. Get your free 7-day trial at Mayhem Athlete. Thank you to RX Smart Gear for providing so much great equipment for this event. Also, if you want to get frog grips for 20% off, go to froggrips.com. Use code NorCal20. FitAid, title sponsor of the entire event. And, of course, this event brought to you by the greatest piece of fitness machinery around Concept 2, the Concept 2
Waiting to see if we have any of our ladies making their way around. What is the current
We're
time right
at
now?
15 minutes. I think we're gonna have about like 3 to 4 more minutes before we see anybody going. Do we have the
with
drone?
that-
Is the drone getting anybody right now?
And we should be starting that elite men coming up here in just a bit. Actually, they already did start. So there are men in the first heat for double twos. We'll take a little stroll down the lane assignments for our men. Over in lane number 4, Ryan Drew. Tucker McLemore in lane 5. Cooper Beslogoff is in lane 6. Andrew Burke is in 7. Brandon Shipper is in 8. Nikki Rogers in 9. Kaylin Weaver in 10. Christian Ramon in 11. Selvan Ramjahattan in 12. Gonzalo Del Rio in 13. Ricardo Marquez in 14. Trent Volantine in 15. Mr. Hans Kohlenberger in lane 16. Raphael Sanson in 17. Wes Peters in 18. Cole Anderson is in 19. Jackson Miller is in 20. Derek Gillette is in 21. And Keanu Redongo is in 22.
And Bill, joining us for the men, we have a special guest. You wanna go ahead and introduce yourself? I don't know. People might not know him, so we're gonna go ahead and let him introduce.
Hold on, we got to turn his volume down because he's always speaks so loud.
Oh, yeah? Colton Mertens.
Oh,
joining
dang!
the broadcast.
Hey,
The Iron Hog himself.
Mr. Colton Mertens. Now, first of all, stoked you're here. Second of all, why aren't you out there? What happened?
Being a pansy.
Oh, dang. At least you called yourself out on that.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, hey, you know what? You already had your ticket. That was great. In all reality, if the training session, which is basically what it is, competition, but it's a training session, it's not working out good for you, I think that's a good call. Pull yourself out.
Yeah, I just wanted to, talking to Joey and Amy, and they think it's best to just get healthy so I can get back to training quickly and not mess myself up any worse before we get into the hard games training. So
Okay.
that's unfortunate. I wanted to at least try and compete this weekend, but it is what it is.
Is what it is. You were our champion here last year. Obviously, NorCal is a fun event. What do you think, just personally, as a coming in here and starting some of the events and watching it? You're here with Allie. What do you think of the event so far this weekend?
It's a lot of fun events. This is a competition that you'll go to and you'll be doing movements, standards, whole different kinds of tests that you're not going to get to do anywhere else. It's a really unique experience in that manner. They do a lot of gymnastics complexes where you see a lot of other people do weightlifting complexes. I think the one they implemented this year with the bar muscle-ups and the pullovers was really well done. And, just a lot of unique challenges with the venue or the setup and things like that. So it's a unique experience for every competitor.
Yeah, it's super fun. We've got a couple hands up in the air for our first heat of the men. In lane 5, Tucker McLemore, Cooper Beslogoff also has a hand up in the air. Looking for a couple other ones. Kind of hard to read those numbers a little bit, especially even with my glasses on. It's hard. That's lame. Ryan Drew in lane number 4 also has a hand up in the air. Oh, that's much better.
In lane 20, we have a pace of 135. Lane 4 and 20 is currently your leaders.
Dang.
That's Ryan Drew and Jackson Miller.
Oh, really?
Jackson Miller's holding a 135.
Now, you did say last night, John, while we were talking at dinner, that Jackson Miller was going to crush this event.
The row.
The row. Sell his soul on the row. So what is that going to do to his run? Is he going to have a run left? Or is he just trying to set a world record pace here?
He's going to have a trot left. This is called a row and trot for him, not a row run for him. And he's off.
How many athletes do you think are going to take that kind of strategy where they know I'm not a great runner, so no matter what I do, I'm going to do poorly on that event, so I'm going to send it on the row, try and get maybe a top 5, and then the run is what it is either way?
I think every person who considers themselves a poor runner should try to win that row. Because what's the point? You're already going to be
Yeah, for some of these guys, if they try and do well on both, they're just going to do poorly on both.
Right.
But if they can crush the row and then the run is what it is either way, it can be a way to make up some points.
Colton, when you're looking at this, you have a row. Okay, 2,000 meters. That's like, in all reality, that's probably one of the worst row distances to have to do. It's one of the most painful ones out there for sure. And then you have the run after that. Do you see them as two different styles of events, or do you see them as both? You need to push really hard on both of them. I mean, is it a 2-mile run? It's actually 1.85. I think we figured it out. Is that enough of the run to get the difference, or do you think that they're pretty similar?
I think they're fairly similar. I think if you're confident in your run ability, you need to push the row pretty hard, maybe a 95% effort. You'll use the first 400 meters to recover. But if you think you have fitness of a level that you can do well on an event like this, endurance, you think maybe you can get to the games, you need to push the row hard, and then you'll recover on the run and then hit a good pace still.
Guys, we're having our first finishers in. It's Kristen Holta taking first place. Right behind her is Carissa Stopp. And then Emily Rolfe is in fourth. It looks like Oda kind of lapped her out. And then we have Emily Rethwill. Hattie Canyo is the last one in out of that group. And now there's a big gap between everybody else.
That is a massive group of ladies to all come in. So you can imagine how hard they were pushing on the back, not wanting any of them to get away.
That's 6 spots between Holta and Hattie. That's all the gap was between those two. And then a ton of gaps between them and Prevo. That's what I'm saying, man. And then we don't know what the row was, but it's going to be tight going into that last thing. Kristen Holta, she's had 7 wins when running is in an event, and now that total is 8, and half of those are at the games. That means if running's in an event, Kristen Holta's the one.
She's the one?
Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy because, having her come back, it's not like she's old. Was she 35? She just aged into that master division. But it's like when you're that good, the muscle memory thing kind of starts to kick in. You're always going to be good at that one.
And I think running, and you can speak to this more than anybody else. No offense to you. I think running is the last. I think that is like the last thing that leaves you. There are 60-year-olds that go run marathons.
For distance.
That is true.
For distance, at least.
Distance running for sure. Now, maybe not sprinting, but just running in general, 5K pace, right? I think that's the last thing that leaves you as far as your physical fitness.
Now, is that because it's purely just lungs and you're not losing? Muscle tone you'll lose. You'll lose that snap, that dynamic power. There isn't the dynamic power on the run, right? So
no, it's slow twitch muscle fibers.
Just cruising. Colton, what would you do on this? What would your row pace be, and what would you be feeling like on the run? Are you looking at your heart rate? Do you have a heart rate monitor when you're doing it? Do you run by feel? How would you be running this race here?
I think on an event like this, you probably want to go off feel because you're not going to know what a good pace is for you coming right off a 2K, especially third day into a competition. I think the row needs to be hard because you don't. I think I can recover pretty well on a run, so the row's got to be hard, and then you're going to have to nut up, 800 meters into that run and start hitting a hard pace.
Do you think about 400 meters it starts to flush out, or do you think it takes a little bit? Usually for me it's 400 meters, but I'm not you guys. But usually it takes about 400 meters to feel normal.
Mm-hmm. There's a difference between being just a good runner and being able to recover on a run after you did something like a row, or if it's mixed in with a barbell or things like that. So a lot of these athletes have trained to that. 400 meters in, you should be recovered well enough in your legs, and then it's just aerobic capacity.
The second heat of men starts in 4 minutes. We will get the start of that so we can get row paces for the second heat of men. The first heat of men are out in their run. Our leaders are running. Can we get did Carolyn Prevost come in? Can we get that split screen for the women just to see if Carolyn Prevost came in? Oh, no? Okay. Okay, we'll get it.
No, you can't. It's really tough when you have 4 heats going all at one time.
The camera's glitching right now. That's why. Okay. I got you. You're good. Go back.
How much do you use the other athletes, Colton, when you're out there on a long run like this? Like, you see these guys are grouped up. Do you look – I feel a lot of times, especially in a longer race, you see your little pack that you're with, and that ends up being the pack that you're racing, rather than whoever's up at the lead or whatever you need to go. Do you race your pack, or do you stay with your time and go that way?
I think typically like the first maybe third of the run, you're going to want to go at whatever pace you can go at. And then after that, you're going to want to start finding rabbits and finding people to chase down. I think is the best kind of strategy to go there. So once you pass somebody, try and find someone else. And, if there's a group way ahead of you, try and catch up to them slowly. What you really don't want is to just you get halfway through and realize you hit a pace harder than you can hold and people start passing you.
And then what's the mental status when you see someone blow by you? Like, how are you able to not – it feels like a lot of times that you'd want to slow down. Like, oh, crap,
yeah.
I'm done.
It depends on what point in the race. If it's, the first 800 meters of this 2-miler, then I'm not really worried about it. I think I'll catch him on the back half. But, if it's if you're less than a mile left, you gotta decide whether or not you want to try and hold off that attack or not.
That at some point it's too late to make a move, and then you're just gonna hold steady.
Holding. Looking across our field there over at the Frog Grip Battleground, that's where you see our rowers. See all of those uprighted tents, very old school feel of regionals, and that's exactly what Blair and Ben wanted when they put this together way back in 2019. Get that same feel. The fact that it's been able to grow to such a large event over COVID time, over all the different things, and trying to get that to work the way that it's supposed to work, that it's grown to where it's now an actual qualifier for the games. I'm really proud of those guys and happy for those guys that they've been able to put something like this together. The Best of the West banner across the back, which, I mean, maybe Best of the West, best is kind of a relative term, but man, definitely the coolest. Like, if you've been in the sport a while, this is what it used to look like. I mean, it was the backyard barbecue. It was the let's get down and dirty. Let's have a lot of variables, and can you deal with it? I mean, even Taylor Self said, he even said it yesterday. He said, this is the funnest event he's ever been to. That's been in a lot of competitions, so that's really cool to have.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble saying this, but
of
the West competitions, I think it is the best competition.
Why would that get you in trouble?
Well, because if we just go look at TFX's programming, like, I don't care what you say, but there's a lot of single modality stuff at this one. There's a lot of stuff that you have to adapt on the fly and not really mistakes, but unforeseen circumstances that you just got to rock with.
Yeah.
So much better than TFX.
Okay.
So, I don't think Best in the West is an understatement.
Okay, well, you're probably never going to be broadcasting TFX ever, so that's okay. That's all right. I think you shut
Do you
that
disagree?
door. No, I don't.
I don't want to get you. Colton, do you disagree?
I think you definitely have to be able to roll with the punches here. There's a lot of different variability, but it is a lot of fun. This is probably the biggest semifinal in North America in terms of participation. The most CrossFitters are here, certainly.
And that's what we want. You know, when you're talking about the CrossFit Games, the tip of the spear, the way to showcase fitness at the highest of the high level. It's great not to just be able to have that competition, but be able to have all these people out here doing it. I mean, honestly, this is very Wodapalooza-esque. A lot of people, the Festival of Fitness, that's something that Tier Wodapalooza has been able to do over the years. And we never really had anything like that out here on the West Coast, barring the regionals of old. So it's so cool. Look at all those cars. These are people that are coming out to watch. They actually have a vendor village with people buying things. They have vendor village. It's amazing. A look at our finish line, waiting for some athletes to come across. Either one to come across, or if we get into the row event for our final heat of men, they should be getting going or just started. One of the two. Not quite sure yet. Mr. Taylor Self, as he walks by.
Just Oda and Hattie talking right here.
They look really happy that that is done.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, it is kind of great that it's like, okay, there's two events basically in one, and we only have one more to go. Seeing what the points look like. For all of your scoring questions, make sure you go to Competition Corner, search up Northern California Classic 2025. If you just put in Northern California Classic, I know the 2024 one pops up sometimes. So make sure you get 2025. You'll be able to see what the men are doing, what the women are doing. See all of the finishes in all the divisions, and they have so many. They have the Elite, they have RX, they have Intermediate, they have Scaled, they have Masters, they have Elite teams, they have teams. Yeah, I didn't even realize Chandler Smith was out here until I saw him. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Chandler's here? So it's cool to see a handful of those different athletes out here running around, spending some time with the athletes. You know, Dave Castro was here yesterday running around, putting that support to CrossFitters. You know, he's kind of our tip of the spear when it comes to CrossFit, the competitive side of CrossFit. So to see him out here, shaking hands with everyone, taking pictures with everyone, it's just really great.
He's looking kind of trim. He's been working
doing
out.
that ruck thing, man. He's been rucking like crazy. So whatever muscle mass he had for his deadlifts, I think he wore it down a little bit.
I've not seen Fat Dave, so this was just the first time. I just thought that's what he looked like.
You look beefy. He's been hanging out at Biolab Peptides.
Biolab Peptides.com.
And the men have gotten on Heat 2 have gotten started. We're going to get those lanes to you, and then I'll get time checks as soon as we start finishing. We're going to get that to you really soon. Bill, you want to go ahead and start with the heat lanes?
Yeah, let's do the lane assignments here. Over in lane number 3, we have Nikita Youngdov in lane 4, CJ Gerald. Kevin Schutz is in lane 5. Matthias Porter is in 6. Mike Evans is in 7. Philip Muscarella is in 8. Matt Brady is in 10. Traven Benton is in lane 10. Jorge Fernandez is in lane 11. Bill Leahy, your overall leader coming into today, is in lane 12. Probably has the camera stuck on him by Hiller right next to him over there. Nate Ackerman is in 13. Spencer Panchik is in 14. Drake Lewis is in 15. Justin Johnson is in 16. Nicholas Bedon is in 17. Max Craig is in 18. Andreas Calderon is in 19. Ben Wise is in 20. Jace Brooks is in 21. And Ilya Moskalenko is in lane 22. We are doing double twos, event number 5 and 6 of today, your 2K row and your 2-mile run for time. The row is scored as an event. The overall row and run is an also full scored event. And we have our final elite men out there driving that rower. What do you got? What do you got over there?
The only reason we can watch any of this today is not only Blair Morrison and Ben Alderman. It's also because of Mayhem Athlete. Get your 7-day free trial now. Mayhem Athlete. Everyone knows how great they are. RX Smart Gear, Frog Grips. Use NorCal20 at froggrips.com. NorCal20 for 20% off. Also, Fit Aid providing all the caffeine, hydration that we need. And this event specifically sponsored by Concept 2. If you're only going to buy one machine, that's the machine to buy. Everyone knows that. That's not their tagline. That's my tagline. And in the comments, I don't want to hear anyone say, keep Colton and never bring Sevan back again. That will not be accepted.
Looks like Wes Peters came in there. I couldn't tell who the first person was.
That's Gonzalo that just came in.
Gonzalo just came in. Is that Hans right there in the hat? Can't tell if that's Hans.
If he's Gonzalo's German twin, then it's Hans.
It's possible. I can't tell with the hat on. Do you have a time on those guys to see what that was or no? No, we're trying. We're doing the best we can, you guys. We're doing the best we can. It is very difficult when we have athletes that are, or heats that are blended. And literally 4 going on at one time, it seems like. A couple other men coming in on the finish.
I think we got hands in the air on the rower right now. Hands in the air on the rower. Can we get lanes that are?
Yeah, let's go ahead and on back to the row. What is that? Lane 6, 7. Hey, we got
there's a whole bunch
Porter,
of them. There's
Mike
a whole bunch of
Evans, Philip Muscarella in lane 8. Yeah, we're getting a handful there for sure. Tucker McLemore just came in with his dreads. Five, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 athletes on the floor with hands in the air.
We're just waiting for that first athlete to get off, and we will let you know who that is. I don't know if anybody's touching Ryan Drew or Jackson Miller on the row,
Right.
but
Probably pretty smart, though,
however
right?
they're doing in this heat is how they're going to be. So,
yeah, if we can just hold on to this shot here so we can see who's coming off first of all before we get them over to the run. Again, our first heat of men starting to make their way in. Not sure who that is as they stop right in the shade, which I get it. It's not warm yet, but if you just got done doing 2 miles running, you want to be in some shade.
all right, we got 2 guys up at the same time. Lane 7 was Mike Evans, and you know the lane that got up next to him? I saw 7, and then there was a lane on the other side. Drake Lewis, maybe?
Possible, okay.
But a whole bunch of guys getting up around the
Wow.
exact same time. That is gonna make that's gonna make a shift in the leaderboard, whatever those times were, because about 8 people got up at the same time after those 2 guys.
And I really think when we looked at all the last 4 heats, the fourth of the 4 that we've been watching, that is by far the biggest chunk of athletes that all come up at the same time.
Everybody got up at the same time. From here, it's just who's the best runner. But you could finish within the same seconds of an athlete in 8 different spots.
So
how that works, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there.
So what's crazy on that one, with all the athletes coming off at the same time, it's almost like that heat through the first event of today, because they all came off at the same time. Nobody tried to get the extra points out of that.
Or they're fitter. And they're the same
exact
times,
level of fitness. That seems pretty tight.
No. It's not of Heat 1, I'm saying.
I'm not talking about Heat 1.
Okay,
I'm talking about this heat here. I mean, you're basically racing who you're racing. I mean, yes, there's the other heats of people you got to contend with, but you don't know what they got. You have no idea what they did. Maybe you're watching them because you're sitting in the bullpens ready to go. But we haven't seen what we were talking about earlier, what Colton was talking about, what you were talking about. There's a decision of how hard you want to go on the road based on what you need for the second part. It looked like everybody there had the same game plan. It's like we're all going to go the same pace. Yeah. Not that they're looking, but everyone has the exact same game plan, which is now going to put all the emphasis on the run.
A little like the biker in Pump House.
Right, exactly.
I think this is Matt Brady in the white hat. I'm not for sure, but I think this is Matt Brady in the white hat in the lead. He was looking forward to this event. And he's really white, and that guy's really white.
Well, it'll be easy to spot him then. Maybe not through the trees, but we'll have our best chance of that.
And somebody I'm looking for here is Max Krieg. I think Max Krieg is going to be very good in this event.
He's a great runner.
Yeah.
Colton, how hard do you push if you have someone right ahead of you like that, like in the white hat? Someone's just ahead. Do you just draft them?
Yeah, I would stay on their hip until I feel like they're starting to slow down or break, and then I'll stay right there as long as I need to until I decide it's time to pass them. I mean, the last thing you want to do is pass them and then end up getting passed again 800 meters later.
Right. Do you let them dictate your pace? You know, I mean, if you feel like they're going slow, it's like, hey, I'll sit back, I'll rest a little bit, or it's like, look, you're just going way too slow for me. You blew up on the run.
To an extent, I'll let them dictate the pace, and then
it
feels like if it feels too slow, then I'll pass them. But for the most part, I would let them dictate and then just try and recover as much as I can and make a pass later on.
There's Bill Leahy and Spencer Panchik is in that little group. We got Nikita Yundoff.
How important is this race for Bill Leahy? Coming into today in first place.
He got off on the road pretty quick.
Yeah,
he was in that first group.
You know, and this is one of the things we were talking about. There's always been all this hype because of Hiller. I think that there's been a lot of hype on him. You know, we were talking in the car that, like, as a fan of this, it's really hard. I don't see anything flashy. So even though he's in first place, it's like it's hard for me to say that. Hard for me to see that. Does he need to go big on this event?
I think
he go big on this.
Needs to not dig himself into a big hole. He's really good at some of the gymnastics skill stuff, so he's had some good home runs here. This is an event where typically he doesn't do great on the endurance pieces, but usually he's got some kind of adversity going on, an illness or whatever, so it'll be interesting to see how he holds up here.
I think this is Jace Peck sneaking up on this group right here. I kind of feel like Max Krieg is just pacing off of Matt Brady right now. I wonder if Jace passes. No, Jace is just going to stick in that group. All right. So Jace made that move you were talking about. I'm going to get up to that front group, and now we're just sticking at this same pace.
Yeah. You just love this because this is like cycling right now. You feel like you're watching the CrossFit de France is what you're watching.
When we saw the people pass by, Nate Ackerman was in the back. Like it
looked a little labored.
Yeah, it looked rough for Nate Ackerman. I don't know what he did in the row. But maybe he's one of the guys that are like, I'm going to do great in the row, and then the run I know is not going to be good. Look, Jace is talking to Max Krieg.
I love it. A little bit of talking there.
I worked out with Jace on Wednesday. We dropped into the same gym, and he's a talker for sure. He's a good guy.
Dude, he looks like Turbo Man in person. The way his body is built.
It looked like Max Krieg tried to come off the road a little bit, try to straighten his line. It's one of the things, it's like, you know where your path is. Try to take the straight line as much as you can, but that was a little weird.
I feel like Max Krieg knows his pace, and I feel like Max Krieg in the last 800 meters is going to get faster.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the same about the other two. And maybe they do, but I know Max Krieg is an excellent runner, and kind of like Emily Rolfe, just knows how to pace things perfectly for whatever distance they're running.
He got second on the run, deadlift, burpee event at Crash, and it was just every round he kept creeping up a little more, where you didn't notice him until the final round. You're like, shit,
Yeah.
He's right here.
And he's
Yeah.
beating people like Chris Ibarra and Taylor Self, who are excellent
Right.
at conditioning events.
Have a little pause on our camera as we are looking at the finish line here on the Double 2 event over in the Frog Grips Battleground Arena.
Stop moving, you're glitching it.
There's someone's got a great thumb that they're showing. It's awesome. Still looking for the glitches. See how many thumbs we
Is that
can
the
get
thumbs thumb?
Now-
on the screen at one time.
I did not. You know who I did not see? I didn't see Jorge at all. So I don't know where. Not it's not a good
Right.
thing or a bad thing.
Right,
I just didn't see him.
Right.
I know Nate looked rough, but depending where Jorge is, he needs to beat him by 11 spots. I'm just that's the race I'm kind of looking for. Like Bill looks like he's going to be in a class of his own after this workout. I know he's going to be great in the last workout. Maybe not winning, but he's going to be great. I don't know where Jorge is, and he's the next man up. I don't think Spencer's going to make up 30 spots, right? Even if Spencer beats him.
Did we lose the drone? We lost? Oh, it's okay. We're trying to retrieve our drone
We do
right
not
now.
know where our drone is.
If it lands in your backyard, please return it to the Sevan podcast.
It got
Hey, you
sucked
guys,
up.
that happened every single time. Rios is just a G, and you guys didn't even realize it.
It got sucked up by a hot air balloon, and we're trying to get it back.
I think this last event could be really good for Nate, so Jorge needs to make up some points here to keep it close.
Yeah, no, Nate's in the running to win this last event. Like when I say it's
Absolutely.
great for Bill, Nate and Bill are both equal
Right.
in this sentiment as far as legless rope climbs go. And then I would give Nate the edge on just strength on
Yeah,
cleans.
I would too.
So for Jorge, I would want a gap of like 3 people. Or get as much of a gap as you can. Obviously, easier said than done. If they're even, I'm giving the edge to Nate in that last workout.
Oh, the last workout. Okay. Well, what I was thinking was here with Jorge, being that the field was so tight coming off the rower, there is a lot of jockeying that you can do. We saw that there was a split between the top athletes with Jace and Max up towards the front, but there's still a lot of room to move and a lot of places you can have trying to get separation between you and someone else. I didn't see where Nate was when they came up. He said he was rough, but I didn't see where he was.
He looked very labored on the run. He was
Okay.
in the backpack and didn't look. His body language did not look great.
Which is not really what you want. Nate Ackerman 1.5 points behind Bill Leahy, but 11 points ahead of Jorge Fernandez. So
And also, Jorge's not really known to be a great runner either.
Right.
So it's just kind of, and like we saw 8 guys get up from the rower at the same time.
Yep.
If Nate is in the lead of that 8 and Jorge is in the back of that 8, that makes up for all the ground that he's about to lose on the run, even
Okay.
if it's a lot. And again, if they're even, I'm giving Nate the edge.
Okay.
Because Nate Ackerman's going to be amazing in this last event. Even if Jorge's good, Nate Ackerman might win that event. So I would give Jorge has to be ahead of Nate by, I would say, at least just ahead. That way you can play the game of how close do I need to be. I don't have to beat this guy. I just have to be behind. Nobody else can come in between us. And that way you can play that game and you can know that about yourself.
But again, we found our drone. Wow, it's right by the power lines. That's
And this
scary.
was the concrete dirt path. Like sometimes it's concrete and sometimes it's dirt. And this is a very long straightaway. This looks
There's
like
Jace
Jace
up in
Peck
the front. You have
pulling
to see with
away.
those braids.
He's moving.
So him and Max looks like your 2 leaders.
Dude, Jace looks great, though.
Dude, look at that. Looking back, where are you guys?
Look, he's out running
Ni-
the drone.
Nice talking to you. I'll see you later.
That's like when a car outraces a helicopter and then
Right.
they can't catch the guy. Look, our drone is lost.
But we're trying.
Jace has
Hey, no. We're just trying to find alligators right now to make sure that all of our runners are safe. Safety is paramount. We want to make sure that we don't have any issues with animals
Jace is
coming out.
gone.
Man, I am nervous about the power line right there. There's Jace.
That's-
Okay. Oh, go up. Go up. Go up,
Dude,
Rios.
the power line is right there, dude. Oh, my gosh, Rios. All right, looks like Jace has a little bit of a gap on Max. I wonder if he just put the burners on.
Oh, yeah, he
Dude,
did.
that's a big gap. Max looks great. Max looks very efficient right now, but that's a big gap. There we go. This is great. This is great, Rios.
Oh, that's awesome. Get them both in there like that.
Now you see how he went to the edge here? This is like a dirt pile.
That's a dirt pile?
Yeah. There's like little pockets of just soft dirt.
Checking back to see where Max Krieg is, your overall leader in this heat, Mr. Jace. Jace Brooks running. Oh, okay, so that has been your top 3 that we saw on that breakaway. Who did you say was in the lead? Is that Matt?
Jace Peck is in the group.
No, with the white hat.
Matt Brady.
Matt Brady.
Can't hear you, JR.
And we have JR Howell out there with the camera, with his iPhone, trying to help us out, trying to give us some data as we can get. As Jace Brooks makes his way back in to our arena area, you can see the parking lot with all the cars of all the spectators and athletes and fans.
Oh, Matt Brady's making a push here. You see he's sprinting up
Oh,
on Max.
look at that. Now, again, they're going to be making their way in through the road over to that entry where the Frog Grip Battleground Park is. That'll be your entry point. There's the beginning entry of our... Oh, and right here is the finish line. Jace Brooks comes in first.
Jace, Max
Krieg is in second. Matt Brady comes in right after that. And wow, they left a large gap between them and the rest of the field.
Okay. Now this is big. We got Nikita Yundorf who's going to be next, and then Jorge Fernandez.
Oh man, that was a big
beat Bill.
jump.
He's even ahead of Bill right now. And then we have Bill.
Oh, big push right here, coming
okay.
into the finish line, trying to see who it is. Unable to tell.
This is going to make things
I want to
interesting.
say Spencer Panchik just outran Jorge for that lead. There's Bill. So Spencer got ahead of Jorge there, and then Bill came in after that. But this is huge for Jorge.
Wow.
Kevin Schutz also came in. Times-wise, Jace was 18:47. That is your winning time. But now we just have to wait for Nate Ackerman.
Philip Muscarella came in as well?
Yeah.
I didn't even see him come in.
Like I'm getting times, and then JR's telling me what gym they're at. Like,
Good finish there for Bill.
Yeah.
On both parts, I believe.
You know, I
hope Nate Ackerman sold himself on the road then, because we're just gonna have bodies on bodies on bodies right now.
I love the fact that these athletes are so close so that they can get that big push. We didn't see that hard of a push in a lot of the other heats just because they didn't have athletes to go with. But someone is coming in hot and heavy.
We got one athlete that's running for his life.
Someone's chasing him with a knife, I think.
Looks like there's zombies after that guy, the way he's
Look
running.
at him go. Wow.
That's a Woody from Toy Story running.
Is that...
He had a good lead too. He didn't necessarily need to do
Was that Nate? Was that Nate?
yeah, he didn't have to do
Oh, that's not Nate.
I'm checking.
Still trying to see who we have
Nate
coming
Ackerman
in.
is rounding the corner. He should be the next one. He should be the next guy we kind of see here is going to be Nate Ackerman.
Up at the top over by the parking lot area is what John's talking about there.
Traven Benton is right behind him.
You can see spectators moving back and forth and our yellow-vested crossing guards making sure that they stop the cars, stop the pedestrians from coming across. Is that Traven right there?
I think it's Traven. If that's Traven, then Nate came in down here.
So Nate did come in already.
So it's not a...
We're hard to tell. We're guessing,
Not a
you
bad
guys. We're
time,
guessing.
not a good time. Oh, I'm thinking of Heat 1 as well for Nate.
What was it 11 points separating Jorge and Nate Ackerman?
It's going to be right around
It's going to be close.
Traven Benton comes in. All right, guys, we are going to have a deadlock heat for
I
the
love
last
it.
event.
It's supposed to be.
I think Bill did well for himself. Jorge did what he needed to do to get into the race. It looks like, man, I mean, it looks like Bill's going to, as long as Bill just doesn't have a meltdown in the last event, I think he's going to make the CrossFit Games. And it's going to be between Jorge Fernandez and Nate Ackerman. It's going to be very close between the two. Going into the last event.
And this is a pure estimation because we obviously don't have the scores in front of us. You have to check out Competition Corner for that if you want to get all your scores. 3-point difference between those three, 5-point difference between those guys. I mean, that was a big run for Jorge. I mean, we don't know what the row was.
It was huge
Yeah.
for Jorge.
That
The
was a
row
big
puts,
Row is
jump.
completely unknown.
yeah, the row puts a huge chink into it because Nate could have beat him by 10 spots in the row.
Right,
We
that's
don't
true.
know at all. But just by the run, Jorge did what he needed to do, and then we'll just see if the row bears. We'll see what the row bears out. Same case for the women. I think the woman in the lead, Alex Kazan, is kind of have it going away, but then that second spot is between 3 people, and it could be any one of them.
Man, I wish we knew what the rows were. I just hate having that gargantuan question mark. We're trying to rationalize some math, and we couldn't even tell about who was in the lead. Not even a time, just to know what the placements were for the row, so we have some sort of an idea what that's going to look like.
There's going to be a lot of leaderboard refreshing going on for the next 20 minutes.
Right? I know, huh? It's going to crash the system.
Michael. That's the guy who runs Comp Corner, right?
What?
Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I made a joke, but don't worry about
I
it.
didn't get it. It was okay.
Sousa got it. Nobody sees it. It's okay.
Still waiting for a handful of athletes to still make their way in. That is the parking lot entrance to Discovery Park out here at Sacramento, California, for the Northern California Classic.
Dude, if you're not in yet, man, that's rough.
In the parking lot? Well, I just hope we can get out, is all I know, because we're up in the top corner of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened.
They told Bill to move. He got so mad.
I got mad.
So we
I'm like, we got to get over there.
We parked where we normally park, and they were like, "You can't park here." And then Bill's like, "We worked the event." he was so mad about it.
A beautiful shot of Discovery Park and the Northern California Classic. You see the different competition fields. We have the Fit Aid field up at the top there with all the lanes. We have the Frog Grip Battlegrounds down here at the bottom of your screen with all of the rowers. The entry for all the running athletes that will be coming in, and that finish line for the Double Twos event. After this event is done, we will have our final event that's going to be happening over on the Fit Aid stage. Over there is going to have the rope climbs, the legless rope climbs, and the squat cleans for our men and women. We get to get legless rope climbs and some heavy squat cleans. Be interesting to see, and we were talking about earlier about what that weight's going to look like for the men and for the women. For you, Colton, that last weight for the men, it was 335. It was changed to 325 just because they were told they weren't able to get the weight on there. Is that weight something that's going to affect the men very much?
Yeah, I think if you just look at TFX a couple of weeks ago, the final bar, I think it was 315 pounds, and we saw a lot of guys struggling with that, and it was just a straight 600-meter run into the clean ladder. They're going to have the fatigue of the legless rope climbs going into that. I think it's going to feel pretty heavy.
Okay, so do you feel for something like that, does it just comes down to, all right, let's just see who can clean the last bar and that's it? Why even go through the other stuff?
Yeah, I think it will come down to that a lot if you don't, go too fast on the legless rope climbs. I think racing to the bar isn't necessarily going to be really important because I think it's going to feel really heavy, a lot heavier than people think.
Are the first 2 bars, are they touch and go that you have to do or no?
I don't think anybody should be touching.
I don't think you should touch and go.
If you plan on touching the final bar and hitting it, then no, unless you try going for a fast tie break maybe. But
okay. We were actually looking for that. Did you know if there was a tie break anywhere on that?
I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll check that out for you. We're going to go ahead and refresh the leaderboard here a little bit, see if we have any scores. Maybe we have the women's up?
We have 2 scores that aren't in for the last event. Something I want to bring attention to, Caitlin Bernardin won double twos. So she beat Kristen Holta.
Yeah, she was so fast.
She was the only woman to go sub 20. She was 1958. Kristen Holta was 2013. Something also big, and this makes a lot. Like we're talking about, we don't know what happened on the row. Guys, Kristen Holta. Hold on. What happened to them?
What happened?
No.
No.
All right, on the row, Kristen Holta and Hattie Canyo got 22nd and 25th.
Wow.
On the row. We got a little bit of a discrepancy with the run event with Alex Gazan and Andrea Solberg. We don't know what it is, but they're the only 2 scorers that are not in. And apparently there's something going on that we're going to try to figure it out.
Okay.
Everybody's in except those 2, but there's talks with Blair and Ben about what they're going to do. So we'll get information on that. But Kristen Holte, Hattie Canyo both did terrible on the row, and it's making things tight. But Carolyn Prevost got 22nd on that event, on the whole event
on
as
the whole
a whole.
event?
Yeah.
Where was she on the row?
She was 15th. So Carolyn
That's
Prevost.
going to be a rough score for her.
Carolyn Prevost is currently in 5th place. They have Andrea Solberg in 2nd place, but she's going to be down after the run, depending on what that happens. She did very good in the row, but she'll end up being 6th place after that run event. But we have to see what happens. Maybe they ran the wrong way. We're getting information on it right now. I'm sorry that we don't have it, guys.
Was the issue with the timer, or did they take the wrong course?
It might have been the timer. We saw Alex Gazan come in, and at 10th, right? We saw Alex Gazan come in at 10th place. So it's not an issue with where she ran the wrong way. It has to be a chip issue.
Yeah, it sounded like it's a chip timing issue.
And
They're
then
trying to figure that out right
that's easy
now.
to do, though. You can see where they came in. You can see who was in around them, and then you can give them appropriate time.
Right. Well, they don't even need to give a time. They just need to know. I mean,
A placement.
With a placement of that,
Correct.
based on the other times that are around her. So while they are figuring that out, it's crazy. It's wild how the difference between the 2 scores it's honestly way more than what I thought. Between the row, what people are placing on the row, and then what they're placing on the overall.
So between Kristen Holte, Hattie Canyo, and Carolyn Prevost, there is 1.5 points. 1.5 points.
It'd be interesting if Alex or Andrea come in between any of them on either of those events.
On the run?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Correct. Alex definitely came in between Carolyn. Hattie and Kristen beat Alex, and Alex came in between Carolyn. So that's another point. That's 64. I want to say Andrea was behind it. She did really good on the row, so maybe she was playing the row game. If not, then Andrea's going to be in there in the mix. But we'll see. I didn't see Andrea come in. But between those 3, we're going to have 2.5 points. So it's essentially
going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be who can clean that last barbell. Yeah. That's literally it. Who can clean the last barbell first? And that's going to be so exciting.
And this is exactly what we were hoping to see coming into the event. And once we start looking at the men's scores as those start coming in, I think that we're going to see a lot of the same things. I don't know if we have any of the men's information in yet. We're looking at our competition corner. Actually, John's phone is what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
For competition corner to see if we have anything there.
Real quickly, while he's checking Competition Corner, I just want to give a shout out to Michael, who actually owns Competition Corner. He has been extremely helpful for us, especially with Syndicate, with the graphics and all the help that he's provided me and us here on the broadcast. So shout out to Michael, and if you guys are running any local competitions, use Competition Corner, competitioncorner.com.
Yeah, Michael. Is he out here being a spectator as well? Yeah, he was here yesterday. That was good. We actually got to hang out with him at Syndicate. He was helping us out there. Helping us out as well with all of the different events here. Are they coming up?
No, I think we're
we're
going
gonna
to
wait
wrap
on
it
that.
up, and then we'll come back and we'll show everybody what's going on.
A lot of questions, a lot of shuffling going on the women's side. We're going to see the same thing on the men's side. Again, we don't have that. We'll be refreshing our Competition Corner app, just like you guys should be doing that at home. We have our final event here at the Northern California Classic coming up to send 2 athletes from this event to the CrossFit Games. We'll be back in, about 2 hours probably, huh? We'll see you guys soon. Stay with us.
From the gym to the comp floor, you're better with Frog.
My name's Taylor Self and I'm doing drugs. My knee's been with me for a long time because I fucked it up. And Biomax peptides are gonna make it better.
Taylor found a homeless man on Craigslist to help him learn how to do this. And they made this video to show you how. It worked out pretty well. The guy brought his own, only partially used needle.
Nice, that's crazy. I didn't feel the needle at all. I felt the injection just a little bit.
Jeez.
Nice.
Your skin is so f***ing thick.
Well, there's a lot of scar tissue there on that side, especially, I'm sure. That really didn't hurt. That was crazy. So we do that every night? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Like 3-4 weeks.
If you thought it was hard to kill Taylor before this, well, then it looks like you don't have a chance in hell now. You'd better ask to see the manager, Uncle. Biomax peptides, because Sevi and Hiller said so.